According to the Silver Institute, global photovoltaic installations significantly exceeded market expectations in 2023, and new capacity additions are forecast to reach another record high this year. Silver offtake will also benefit from a technological breakthrough bringing new, higher efficiency N-type solar cells into mass production. These solar cells use even more silver than older technology. According to a 2022 research paper by scientists at the University of New South Wales, solar manufacturers could consume over 20% of the current annual silver supply by 2027. And by 2050, solar panel production would use approximately 85 to 98% of the current global silver reserves, and that is not including the EV sector or even the military. Alright folks, in this video we are going to be breaking down 3 very alarming articles, and I say alarming because yes, silver is valuable and we will all make a pretty penny, but remember why it's valuable, because it's used for so many things. So if we are experiencing a massive silver shortage and we need silver for things like military, like space, like solar, like so many other reasons, even in the medical world, then we are going to be facing some very frustrating and dangerous times ahead. We make a pretty penny, but at what cost? But before we break down these 3 very interesting articles, I did want to mention that if you stack silver and you want to be updated on a daily basis of what's happening in the world of precious metals, well, look no further, because I will do that for you. Make sure you click subscribe and click the bell so you get notified every day when I post. And right now, silver's price is down. It's a small correction. Take advantage. It's on a discount. It's on sale. So if you guys wanted a place to purchase gold, silver, or even platinum, well, Miles Franklin is the best. They have Buffalo rounds as low as $2.35 over spot, Britannia's $3.10 over spot, kilo bars $2.05 over spot, 10-ounce bars $2.25. Extremely good prices. 90% silver, $3 over spot. You name it, we got it. Every single Monday we have new specials. All you have to do is email me, slayer@milesfranklin.com, or call me 330-485-6172, and I will take care of you. So here are the 3 articles that we are going to be talking about in this video. First one, India silver imports have already topped 2023 totals. That is insane. We have China's overproduction of solar panels drives silver demand to 12-year highs, and we have silver traders seek out China as solar demand stays strong. So I think we should first start with India. Silver imports have already topped 2023 totals, because that is a huge story and that is huge news. So India imported more silver through the first 4 months of 2024 than it did in the entirety of last year. But you must be wondering why. Like, why, if silver isn't valuable, why are all the countries in the BRICS nations importing and buying so much of it? Indian silver imports totaled 4,172 tons of silver from January through April. That compares with the 455 tons during the same period in 2023. India imported 3,625 tons of silver last year. India ranks as the world's #1 silver consumer, which beat China. China's always been the biggest consumer of silver, but India beat them this year. According to a Reuters report, rising demand from the solar panel industry and investor optimism that silver will outperform gold this year are driving a silver buying spree in India. Silver is already up 28% in rupee terms this year. That compares to a 14% increase in gold prices. Quote, silver prices haven't done as well as gold in the past decade, but investors think it will do better than gold this year, a Mumbai-based silver dealer told Reuters. Silver has historically outperformed gold in a gold bull market. This has proved true during the current gold rally in the United States, and since its low in February, silver is up over 41%. Meanwhile, gold is up about 22% in the same period. An agreement with the UAE that allows private traders to import silver through the India International Bullion Exchange at a lower duty also helped boost silver imports. Global silver demand is expected to hit the second highest level on record in 2024. Industrial offtake for silver is expected to lead the growth in global demand this year with a 4% increase to a record 690 million ounces. That would build on the all-time high industrial demand in 2023, and that also would reflect the record-breaking supply deficits that we've been facing, over 500 million ounces in the red in just the last 3 years alone. The growing use of silver in solar panel production in India reflects a broader trend globally. According to the Silver Institute, global photovoltaic installations significantly exceeded market expectations in 2023, and new capacity additions are forecast to reach another record high this year. Silver offtake will also benefit from a technological breakthrough, bringing new, higher efficiency N-type solar cells into mass production. These solar cells use even more silver than older technology. That's a thing to really think about. Even as we advance, the new advancements are requiring more silver. You would always think, well, as we progress, we would need less silver. But since silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity, then even the new advancements, we're not thinking in terms of less silver, we're thinking in terms of higher functionality. So if something can function better, if we have a higher efficiency N-type solar cell, they're not thinking about how much silver it's using. They're saying, okay, this works better, okay, but it requires more silver. They're not caring about the but requires more silver part. If it's going to be more efficient and more effective, they'll use it. Just like with AI chips as well, AI chips are also going to push silver production through the roof. And this is very alarming, especially when you look at these next numbers. According to a 2022 research paper by scientists at the University of New South Wales. By the way, this is in 2022. I bet if they did this report today in 2024, it would be even worse because a lot has happened in the last 2-3 years alone. So, according to a research paper by scientists at the University of New South Wales, solar manufacturers, just solar, remember this, could consume over 20% of the current annual silver supply by 2027. It's actually probably much higher than that, since it already has been doubling within just a few years alone. So just 2027, and remember, this is just solar, not EVs, not any of that, just solar. Then by 2050, solar panel production would use approximately 85 to 98% of the current global silver reserves. And it'd probably be a lot more than that. But solar isn't even the largest sector. I mean, it is on record, but when you look at military and aerospace, it uses even more silver than solar. This is that, I guess, invisible silver. That's why you're going to see a lot of scarcity in places that might not necessarily make sense. Like, not all the pieces of the puzzle are there, but when you incorporate military and the amount of silver that goes into military, like 500 ounces of silver in a single Tomahawk missile, or up to 11,000 ounces of silver in a torpedo, or all the silver that's used for submarines and tanks and satellites and drones and surveillance, none of that is incorporated into our numbers. So when we say we reached 1.21 billion ounces, it's actually much higher than that, which also means if we're talking about record-breaking supply deficits, they're actually much bigger than that as well, which is very worrisome. So let's look at this one. So China's overproduction of solar panels drives silver to 12-year highs, which, remember, China wasn't even the largest consumer of silver. So the global demand for silver jumped in recent years, driven by increase of solar panel production. China produces more solar panels than the rest of the world. This surge led to a significant rise in silver prices, which have increased 35% this year alone, reaching a 12-year high. So according to the Silver Institute, and you see how all these articles, they refer to the Silver Institute. That's why I always mention, like, they are the holy grail of information. But now, with new light, it's almost like the corrupt, manipulated holy grail of information. I guess we found out the water has been tainted with fluoride, and they're trying to brainwash the masses and not portray silver as what it really or what It really is, and that's a whole separate video. You guys can go dive into that. Go check out the Silver Academy or any of the workings of over there. But regardless, everyone relies on the Silver Institute's data, but the part about that is that they are not being truthful, and they don't even incorporate the biggest sectors that use the most silver. For instance, aerospace or military. So a nonprofit, or a Silver Institute nonprofit that tracks trends in the industry, the world's need for silver is set to exceed supply for a fourth consecutive year. In 2023, silver demand for industrial applications, particularly in the green energy sector, rose by 11% to an all-time high of 654.4 million ounces. This is going to put the larger scale picture into perspective. So as of now, silver costs $32 an ounce, and today it's like 30 something. And that is a substantial increase from around $20 an ounce 4 years ago when demand was considerably lower. It was actually down to $11 in March of 2020, so even 50% less than that even 4 years ago. The average solar panel requires a little over half an ounce of silver. While this cost increase might seem negligible at first glance, the implications for large-scale solar projects are significant, which is a huge deal, and that's why I say someday that producers will turn into the consumers, and the consumers will turn into the producers. The people like you and I that want the silver would be able to sell to the people that need the silver. We don't need it, but Tesla needs it, SpaceX needs it, Apple needs it, every car company, I mean every automobile company by the year 2030 is going to be electric. They need it. Think how useful silver is. If silver doubles, triples, quadruples in price, that means the cost of production for all of these companies, their production doubles, triples, quadruples in price, which means in return the retail price would be pushed much higher, which is why you'll see someone like Elon Musk buy a silver mine instead of trying to find a source, especially as it gets harder to. And that's also why building a business relationship with someone like myself that's affiliated with Miles Franklin could go a long way, because as all these little online retailers, run through the last of their silver stockpiles, and most of your local coin shops don't have any silver at all, they're gonna have to start raising the price because they don't have the sources like Andy Schectman does, and Andy Schectman's the CEO of Miles Franklin. So we won't have to raise prices since we still are one of the few authorized dealers that can go directly through the U.S. Mint. Andy can still pull off a $55 million order in 2 days. For example, 1 megawatt solar farm that powers between 400 to 900 homes can require as many as 2,000 panels. Therefore, a project that would have spent approximately $24,000 on silver in 2020 now costs nearly $38,500 in the current market. And yeah, when you put things in perspective on a larger scale, it shows just how profitable it can be. I mean, that billionaire that I was just mentioning, they bought $55 million worth of silver. Even with just the few dollar bump that silver was in the past 2 years since she bought that, she's made over $10 million in profit already. She bought 900,000 eagles, over 100,000 ounces in constitutional silver, and the rest in gold. Even with just a few dollar bump, we calculated it on my podcast with Andy, which we're doing another one tomorrow. She's up $10 million. It's insane. So on a bigger scale, when you're talking about something that seems not that big of a deal, it really is. So the boom in silver prices have partly attributed to China's overproduction of solar panels. Western nations accuse Beijing of utilizing unfair trade practices to achieve this. Chinese solar panel producers benefit from government subsidies that keep their prices low. Despite China's production exceeding worldwide demand, the price of panels produced by other nations continues to rise because of increased global demand for silver driven by Chinese production. And at the same time, China-based companies can maintain lower prices thanks to the subsidies from the Chinese Communist Party. That's a whole sticky situation. This dynamic led to companies to explore alternative methods to build solar panels that use less silver. While no other material matches silver's conductivity and reflective properties, copper emerged as a potential alternative that could help reduce production costs and potentially increase efficiency. It might help production costs, but definitely won't increase efficiency. Copper is a close second in terms of conductivity, but the quality, the amount it would take isn't worth it. It would not be worth it. Nothing can replace silver. We're talking about something that is extremely, we're talking about elements on the periodic table, folks. Like, silver got here on Earth's crust from meteors and comets. It's not just made in the Earth's crust or volcanic, molten lava and stuff. We're talking about elements on the periodic table, universal elements on the periodic table. Even if you went to another planet, silver would still be the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity, unless, somewhere on some other planet there's some, light year galaxies away that we're never going to find in our lifetime, be able to mine it. Or, you have to be realistic. Silver is magic, as it was in biblical days, because it responds to other elements like no other element on the periodic table. It can purify water. It has antimicrobial properties. There's colloidal silver in the medical world, silver nanoparticles. It's magical. It truly is. It's God's money. And there's a reason why my name is Silver Slayer and not Gold Slayer. I do like gold. I just bought some gold. But silver is the new gold. And I will wrap this video up with that. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Click the bell. If you guys wanted to purchase some, hit me up. Email me, slayer@milesfranklin.com. Take advantage of these prices, because you will be regretting it if you don't. Every time the price goes up, people say, oh man, I wish I would have bought when it dipped back down to $29, $30. But they'll end up buying it when it's $33, $34 instead, because they need that validation that it can go higher. So they buy high and then they sell low. It's supposed to be buy low, sell high. Don't buy it when it's really high and then just hope it goes higher. Buy it low, because it's going to go back up. It's $29, $30. It already broke past its all-time, it already broke past its 12-year highs. $33, $34, and of course it's going to go back up there. Even if it's not tomorrow, it's definitely going to go back up there, because it just did that for the first time in 12 years. So right now it's literally a discount. It's not like it just did that and it's never going to in years down the line. People look at this from such a small perspective that they miss very rational, realistic, easy situational awareness. There's a lot of psychology when it comes to investing, because you're talking about decision making. And when you're talking about decision making, a lot of variables can affect it, like emotions. That's why I tell people invest with your head, not your heart, because the emotions will completely destroy any rational, decision making. That's why you have panic selling. And that's why you have people that do buy high and then they'll sell it when it goes down a couple dollars, doing literally what you're not supposed to do, doing the exact opposite, actually. So anyways, yeah, hit me up. I love you guys. Look out for the interview tomorrow with Andy Sheckman. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.